Yo guys, what is up and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and this is another F1 2020 gameplay video here today, and this is courtesy of Codemasters. They released a hot lap video around Monaco. Before we jump into it though guys, if you have missed any of my F1 2020 coverage or content on the channel so far, it will all be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen, so go click on that link guys. There's different videos there for all of you guys, so you can kind of pick up on different information and things we know so far about this year's game. And also guys, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop a big fat like on it. And also guys, a lot of you are not subscribed to my channel that watch my content, so I'd appreciate if you guys could hit the subscribe button and be notified when new content does go out, especially on F1 2020 when that game does eventually drop. But with that being said, let's jump into the video and let's break down this hot lap. Okay, so before we go into too much detail, let's get the obvious out of the way first. And if you didn't realise, before we get the comments about it, this is a generic 2020 F1 car. This is the FOM/multiplayer car you can play with in the game. This is not the actual Alphatauri, so don't read into it too much. The eventual car models will be released in, I'm guessing, in a month or so, to a later date. Obviously, they're probably still working on them. So far, the only car we have seen that is actually 2020 is the Renault. So, yeah, all the other cars are generic FOM ones. So don't read into that too much. It's pretty much just a placeholder for now until we get the actual cars later on down the line. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things that look new to me in this trailer. There's not many, so we'll kind of gloss over them. First of all, they have all the updated sponsor boards, which is great. The first one that stands out to me is actually the Heineken one. So it doesn't actually say Heineken because they can't use alcohol, but they can use the when driving, do not drink, which I believe they used in the Zandvoort trailer as well. So that's really cool because, again, realistic sponsors adds to more realism in the game. And also worth noting, just general sponsors updated across the track, which is really good. But there's one key thing I've noticed in this trailer, not much more, only one thing really. The Monaco track seems largely unchanged, to a naked eye, but the one thing that has changed for me is the swimming pool chicane, the second part of the swimming pool chicane. The inside white, yellow curb on the second part of the chicane seems like it's a lot flatter this year. Last year in 2019, when you go over that curb, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to catch some oversteer when you go through there. Seems like that's not the case anymore. You can see on the trailer the car just goes over the chicane very, very easily, over the curb. To be fair, it looks like it's actually been lowered a little bit. It doesn't look that complicated. So similar to kind of Catalunya in a way where they've reprofiled some curbs and changed things a bit. It seems a lot flatter. Like, the more I watch it back, it looks very, very easy to go over that curb. So that's definitely one thing they've changed around the track. Of course, street circuit doesn't have that many curbs, but this one is definitely one of them. And it was quite a tricky one to kind of tackle, but they've definitely made it very, very flat. So that's a good thing. I think it's going to add to the flow of the track. You can definitely, breeze through there a lot quicker. But in terms of general track changes, that is pretty much it. Now, there is one general change to this track that I feel like I can notice. when I compare it to 2019, the whole track looks a lot wider. I'll pull up a few examples, so if I get them on screen for you guys to see, I feel like straight away, I can't tell if it's the speed he carries. I don't think it's something to do with the speed really when I look at it, but it looks like turn 1 is a lot wider. So you kind of go for the apex, and even the driver who's doing this hot lap, he's almost like surprised how much space he has on the left hand side. And to me that looks like F1 have kind of taken some advice. We have heard rumours that they've made a lot of tracks a bit wider based off of real life driver feedback. So turn 1, for example, to me looks like it's been widened a lot more. There's a lot more room there on the left hand side in terms of where the barrier is if you compare it to 2019. So, you know, that's good in a way because it's going to add to more flow around Monaco, which is really, really good. There's also a few more areas where the track feels wider, and when you go up the hill and you approach Massenet, which is the left-hander, and Casino Square, which is the right-hander, turns, I believe 4 and 5, I'm not quite sure, they also seem a lot wider. Like if you kind of pause frame in certain areas, it really stands out. Like for example, when you're midway through Casino, the driver here in this case, he is nowhere near the apex, and there's so much room on the left hand side. It definitely looks like it's been widened a lot more. Even Massenet as well, like it's hard to tell on cockpit view, but you kind of get that vibe the second it cuts the T-cam. The whole section looks a lot wider to me, and it also kind of, you can really see it when you start to go downhill towards Mirabo. To me the track feels like it's been opened up a lot more this year in my opinion. Another corner for me is Portier, so the one before you go into the tunnel. The driver's kind of taken like a 2019 line, and he's got so much track on the left, like so much room there to, you know, use, so much track to kind of, you know, exploit lap time. So there's definitely a lot of time left on the table in there for me personally, in my opinion. Also worth noting in this hot lap again, the person driving, you can see on the steering wheel at times, is using overtake mode, so the button is being applied at this point. And as we know from Tyrrell Limitless, the way the overtake works, and also I think Arab as well mentioned it, the overtake works this year. So instead of holding the button like Kurz, you just press it once like DRS, and it stays activated. And it turns off when you press the button again. You can't press the brake pedal like DRS or anything like that. You've literally got to activate it and deactivate it manually by pressing a button, and that is how it works. So you can press it at the start of the lap, you'll have overtake for a full lap, and then turn it off at the end when you cross the start finish to kind of recharge your battery. So that's kind of how it works. Let's go into a final few details of this lap. So going back to the track being wider, I feel like the final corner has also had a bit of a change. Especially when you kind of get to the apex and you kind of look at the corner and the wall on the left and the exit, there seems to be a lot more space this time around. Again, the driver kind of taking the 2019 line, he's nowhere near the apex. He could have got a lot closer. On 2019, you get really, really close to the barriers, and I feel like he can do the same in this year's game. But there seems to be a lot more room on the exit there to kind of exploit. So I think that's going to be it, guys. There's not a hell of a lot to notice on this lap. I think generally just a few tweaks to the curbs, which we've seen in previous hot laps. They seem to have maybe changed the curbs the way they work in this year's game, and also a general pattern thanks to driver feedback. That, of course, also the tracks seem to have been made a bit wider in certain areas over multiple tracks, not just Monaco. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for my analysis today of this Monaco hot lap. And the race, of course, we weren't going to get in real life, but we are going to get it in the game. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And again, just to confirm, this is a generic 2020 car. It's not the Alphatauri, the official Alphatauri. So hopefully you guys like the video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe, guys, if you are new, for the latest breaking news on F1 2020, and click the bell icon to be notified when that content does go live. And also, guys, check out the 2 videos on your screen right now if you have missed them, and you may like them, who knows. But guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.